Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Monday, September 16th, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour of the day. I'll catch up with the new news today about the shooting in a couple of frames, but I wanted to begin today with just some info on Syria in case you fell behind over the weekend. Landmark deal, U.S. and Russia agree on dismantling Syria Chem weapons. So that is good news. I suppose we have to balance it with some other information. And I don't often use Nasara news. I myself read it, look at it, but I don't often include it in the tour because it pulls in information from so many places, and it's not really vetted. So as I said, I don't always put it in the tour, rarely put it in the tour. However, I just want to bring up this possibility. Obama lied again, moving troops to Syria. News from good military in Fort Hood just in confirmed. Obama has just moved American troops to Egypt on the ground and preparing to slip them into Syria. Obama wants a war. Now, of course, that last little bit is editorial. But I wondered about this, and I'm not 100% saying that it's true. But, here's on RT. West vows to boost Syria rebels. What is that? And then Russia says they, meaning the rebels, should be compelled to join peace talks. Sure, the rebels probably should be a part of this, but the reality is if the U.S. is a part of it, the rebels are a part of it because the U.S. is supporting the rebels. So I haven't focused on this a whole lot, but for some other purpose over the weekend, I was looking at the articles about Christians being killed by the Syrian rebels, and there are so many articles out there. As I said, I haven't made it a focus, but these rebels are very bad people. They are killing Christians. They have an agenda, it appears, based on their behavior, to specifically kill Christians and burn Christian villages. And the rebels are guys that the U.S. is backing. So our government is definitely, I use the term "our" loosely, I use the term government loosely. They are definitely going behind our backs and messing with this situation without the consent of Congress or the agreement of the American people. Now here's this issue that has taken center stage today, and this issue about the Navy Yard shooting really reminded me of John Rappaport's blog from the other day, wherein he was writing about how everybody's attention gets drawn to the same place at the same time, and there's just this mass attention that everybody, it's like when a child comes in, an adult a parent is looking somewhere, and the child comes up and takes the parent's face in his or her hands and turns the parent's attention. That's what the news, the mainstream media does. They just constantly want us. There's an agenda someone has put together, and the MSM participates in the agenda by taking our focus wherever the agenda dictates. So somehow this whole system needs to change. Top to bottom, inside out. Here is the latest, I believe, on the story. Officials, at least 12 confirmed dead in Navy Yard shootings. The big story to me about the Navy Yard shootings is, and I'm sure 85% sure it was orchestrated. I don't have any proof of that, but just based on how we know the cabal functions. The big story here for, I think, Liberty people is the fact that on military bases, there are circumstances under which military personnel do not have their sidearms. And evidently, this is in Washington, D.C., and Washington, D.C. is a gun-free zone. Evidently, the military personnel on the base aren't permitted to have their sidearms. So that's huge, I think. I mean, when tragedy can be averted, and it's not, that's a problem. And tragedy is not averted by strip searching us, patting us down, TSA. Tragedy is averted by individuals assuming responsibility for their own safety and being able to be armed in a way that provides for that. And that historically has been the intention in the U.S. Here's a little bit about the floods in Colorado. This is from Drudge Report. Rescuers warn, leave now or endure weeks without electricity, running water. And as you can see, I have this just on the side from networked blogs. The reason for that is the link to this story doesn't work. It just dumps me into the AP, and when I tried to share this story on Facebook, because it piqued my curiosity, why can't I find this story? So here it is. It's been amended. Correction, Colorado flooding story, and the headline is no longer that people have been told that they need to leave now or be without facilities for weeks. So was that intentional, or I don't know. As I said, it piqued my curiosity. Thought you might be interested as well. And just to round things out a little today so that all our attention is not focused in one place, as John Rappaport encourages us, that we don't always have to look where the MSM directs our attention. Here's an interesting article from Ascension with Earth. Stanley Meyer, the man who was murdered for inventing free energy technology and water-powered car. And there is a YouTube video here. The caption is, Stanley Meyer demonstrates his water fuel cell, a device that split water into hydrogen and oxygen. He later ran his dune buggy with this device. And I don't know if this is the same thing as hydroxy or Brown's gas, but I have noted that type of energy on the tour at different times. And our friend Canute, who was one of the original people who worked on hydroxy and who's the real life version of the Keanu Reeves character in the film Chain Reaction. A little tidbit there. Canute has told us that hydroxy can be used to eliminate nuclear waste. So everything that's going on in Fukushima could be, that whole issue could be addressed with the use of hydroxy. It breaks everything down into, I think it's just hydrogen and hydrogen particles. So virtually any toxic waste situation, including nuclear waste, can be addressed with hydroxy. Bottom line, guys, we've been ripped off. We've been denied some really good stuff. And as kind of a warning to anybody who has elderly parents or any seniors who happen to be watching or listening to this video, from 2012, the big picture. CVS pharmacies caught lying about risks of high-dose flu vaccines pushed onto senior citizens with aggressive bribery schemes. And you've probably seen the signs in the windows at various pharmacies trying to encourage seniors to get flu shots, trying to encourage everybody to get flu shots. Resist, resist, resist. That's my advice anyway. Here's an article. Armed EPA raid in Alaska sheds light on 70 federal agencies with armed divisions. Now this is from actually from Fox News. And the story is the recent uproar over armed EPA agents descending on a tiny Alaska mining town is shedding light on the fact that 40 federal agencies, including nearly a dozen typically not associated with law enforcement, have armed divisions. What is this? Okay, so they're taking arms away from the American people who are granted constitutional rights to them, and they're putting them in the hands of all these people who work for federal agencies, and federal agencies there's nothing constitutional about a federal agency. The kinds of things that these agencies do are supposed to be done at the state level, not the federal level. And here from the Electronic Frontier Foundation is an article, What the Google Street View Decision Means for Researchers and Cops. And this article contains a lot of interesting information about what Google Street View has actually done. From 2007 to 2010, Google equipped the cars with antennas and software that were capable of scanning wireless routers nearby in order to capture information like the network's name, a router's MAC address, and whether a Wi-Fi network was encrypted or not. And another little bit about privacy from Privacy Online News. Yes, you can still trust VPN technology, but defend in depth. If you are concerned about internet privacy, this is something that might be helpful, VPN. I don't use it myself because I put just about every site I visit on a YouTube video, but my husband uses this and is really very happy with it. And here is John Rappaport's take on the Navy Yard breaking, U.S. Navy Yard shooting. Is it possible to learn the truth? It's difficult. I think the bad guys learned a lot at the Boston Marathon bombing, and they want to limit exposure when these things happen. They want to do a controlled release of the information, and it's going to be difficult from now on. I think more difficult to determine what has really happened in some of these situations. Now for our good news of the day. A couple of ideas for preserving your memory. Green tea antioxidants improve memory, cognition, and spatial awareness. So all of those things are important to all of us, I think. And chocolate, one of my favorite things, may prevent memory loss and Alzheimer's dementia. So there you go. Enjoy your tea and chocolate, and not only do you not need to feel guilty, but you can feel that you are helping your body. As always, the tour of the day is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions, and we thank you for joining with us on today's tour. The dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you're having a great day even though it's Monday, that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.